Hi beauties, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share my best in makeup for the year 2024. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me for today's video. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications. That way you won't miss any of my uploads. So I've been trying a lot of beauty products in the year 2024. So I'm going to bring you guys two videos to talk about all of my beauty favorites. Today's video is going to focus on makeup. I'm going to talk about all of my favorite makeup for the year 2024. And then I'm going to film another video that's going to focus on skincare, hair care, body care, and fragrance. So without further delay, let's go ahead and talk about my makeup favorites for 2024. Most of the products I'm going to talk about are products that were new to me in 2024, but there are a few products on this list that I have used in the past. The first primer that I want to talk about is this e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. This is a gripping primer that smells like watermelon that I purchased during this summer. I have used quite a bit of this. I still use this, and I actually purchased a backup and I gave one away here on my channel. It is called a dew primer. My skin does not seem dewy when I apply this. It is hydrating, but it's not dewy. I got mine at Ulta, but I also know it was sold on the e.l.f. Cosmetics website. This locks in my makeup. I couldn't believe that it was an affordable primer, and I found myself reaching for it all the time, especially during the summer months because of the fragrance. It was just such a wonderful experience applying this primer. It gave me a beautiful complexion and my makeup lasted all day long. So I really enjoyed this primer by e.l.f. Cosmetics. I really didn't have a lot of new primers until the end of the year. I recently filmed a video trying new makeup, and I was really impressed with the primers that I tried out. This is the TULA Skincare Filter Primer Blurring and Moisturizing Primer, and this one is in the shade Magic Hour. I applied it and I wasn't sure that it smoothed my skin. One of my viewers could tell on camera that my skin was smoother after I applied this primer. So I was like, oh, well, it is doing exactly what it says it's supposed to do. It changes color as you apply it. It smooths your skin, and I actually got pretty good longevity out of my foundation when I use this primer, and it hydrates the skin as well. So it gives me a very beautiful complexion, and I am happy I purchased this and will continue to buy it. It is a 1 ounce bottle, and I wish that they would change their package because it has looked like this from the very beginning. It's very flat, and it doesn't seem like there's an ounce of product in here, even though there's an ounce of product in here. Other than that, this is a wonderful primer. Everything that I've ever purchased from TULA has been amazing, and I'm happy that I have added this to my collection. This is the primer that I am wearing today. This is the NATASHA DENONAHY-GEN primer. This primer uses a dropper. I don't know if you guys have noticed on Facebook ads, but NATASHA Denona has been pushing out a lot of Facebook ads where she's actually applying her own makeup, and she's been using this product. I was loving how it was looking on her skin and decided to pick it up. It is absolutely gorgeous. You might think when you see this that you're going to be super dewy with this particular primer, and it does hydrate and it does add a glow, but it actually keeps my makeup on all day. It works differently than I would have thought based on the fact that it's a serum, based on the fact that it is glowier. I would think that, oh, I might be in trouble by the end of the day, but actually it adds longevity and gives me the most gorgeous complexion. And even though I'm combination and I get oilier in my T-zone, it cancels out the oil production in your face. So if you are an oily person, you can still use this. So I want to give you guys a few highlights about this primer. It is hydrating. It is good for anti-aging, good for dryness. It contains hyaluronic acid, and it gives you a radiant finish. This is what's interesting. NATASHA Lightweight Primer Serum has a dewy finish, infusing skin with up to 72 hours of continuous moisture while balancing oil for an instant glow. And it is good for all skin types. Usually when you have oilier skin like I do in the oily T-zone, your skin shines more. But for some reason, even though this is a radiant finish primer, I don't experience over shiny skin whenever I'm wearing this. It just looks amazing. I haven't been purchasing a lot of primers because I love the primers that I use already, but this is one to keep your eye on. It is a really, really good primer. And moving on, foundations. I tried to put on a lot of different products today, guys. So the foundations that I'm wearing today, I have 2 on. You guys who have been with me know that I had an illness last year and I stepped away from YouTube for about 4 months. So I didn't film this video last year. So some of these products I got in 2023, but I wore them in 2024. And probably I wore them a little bit in 2023 as well. The main foundation that I'm wearing today is this Haus Labs foundation. This is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. This foundation is in the shade 415 Medium Deep Cool. The reason I have on 2 foundations today is I wanted to pump in another foundation to cancel out some of the cool in this foundation. This actually was the foundation that it recommended to me based on another foundation that I own, and I ordered it online. It is very close to being the right shade, but the undertone is slightly off. You may see more yellow in my skin. This doesn't match exactly. It is a good match, but there may be a better match for me. Regardless of that, I have fallen in love with this foundation. It is really, really good for my 51-year-old skin. To give you a few highlights about this foundation, it has a natural finish. It is long wearing. It was an Allure favorite in 2023. It was the Clean Beauty winner, non-comedogenic, and is hypoallergenic. Medium coverage, weightless, clean foundation. Reduces redness and protects from environmental stress. It says it's weightless, serum-like texture, seamlessly blurs and smooths for a natural luminous finish that wears all day. It looks natural. It looks sort of radiant, but not too radiant, and it does wear all day. It just gives you perfect skin. It is one of the best foundations out there. It is newer to my collection, but in comparison to other foundations, it's getting on up there as far as where I would rank it in my list of foundations. I may need to do a foundation ranking. It might be time for a new one. But this is really beautiful. Hopefully you can see that on my skin now. It is a gorgeous foundation, and I wore it probably the most throughout the year of 2024. Love this foundation. The second foundation that I have on today is the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Skin Tint, and this is in the shade 330. I filmed a review on this foundation on my channel, but I wore 2 shades because the store where I originally purchased it didn't carry 330. 330 is my shade match. It's a really good shade match. So that's why I mixed it today with the Haus Labs, just to make it match my skin a little bit better. This is wonderful drugstore foundation. It almost doesn't seem like a drugstore foundation. It's a skin tint, so you would think that it would be very light coverage, and it's not. It offers me medium to full coverage. I can build it up to full coverage. It is long wearing, and it is one of those foundations that whenever I wear it, later on I look in the mirror, I have to think to myself, what am I wearing again? And it is this. It's very skin-like, and I love it. I would repurchase this over and over again. And again, I can't believe it's a drugstore foundation. So it is one to try if you have not tried this already. I have been loving this in 2024. This foundation is a foundation that I have purchased in the past, but I ran out and I didn't repurchase for a while, and I finally decided to re-up on it. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation that we all know about from many years ago. It was everyone's favorite and go-to foundation, and I wanted to wear it again. I haven't worn it in a few years, and I used to love this foundation. This is the shade 8.5, and during the summer, it is an absolute perfect match. It's a little hint dark during the winter months, but for the most part, I can still wear it without a problem. It is luminous silk. It goes on like silk, very skin-like, but offers medium, buildable, full coverage. I love this foundation, and I love how my skin looks whenever I wear it. Amazing foundation, one to try if you've never tried it. It is definitely worth the hype. I use this a ton this year, and I'm so glad that I re-upped on it. Love this foundation. This foundation is probably my favorite of the year. This is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation, and it was reformulated this year. I have mine in the shade NC46. I never tried this foundation previously, and people always asked me, like they ask all YouTubers, what's your MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation shade, so they could kind of shade match with me. And I would always say I don't own that foundation. I don't know why I never bought it. But I never bought it. Since it was reformulated, I thought I gotta see what this is all about. And I don't know how it compares to the previous formulation, but this is absolutely the best. I try not to use that word. It's the best of 2024 for sure, but it might be the best foundation that I have. I found it difficult to reach for other foundations once I added this to my collection. It is full coverage. It does not budge, like it is made to not move off your face, yet it feels lightweight. It is one of the best foundation matches that I own. I filmed a video here on my channel this year searching for my best foundation match, and I didn't own this at the time. There was another foundation that won for the best match, and I had a few that were contenders. But this matches me so great, and it just looks beautiful. I filmed a video on my channel talking about 10 products that I was obsessed with. Several of those products are probably over here right now, and this is one of those products, and I was wearing this foundation in that video. It looks gorgeous on the skin. I can see why so many people use this foundation as their go-to foundation, because it has turned into my go-to foundation. So I'm popping back to foundation. Somehow I missed this foundation. Don't know how I did it. TIRTIR. I filmed a review on this TIRTIR foundation. I bought it in 3 shades. I ended up giving one away to my daughter, and this is the one I settled on. This is 35N. It is still a little bit neutral, like I wish it had a little bit more warmth, but regardless, this is wonderful foundation. And I even went back and I purchased it in a mini. All of this happened this year in 2024. I filmed a review on this, and I was wearing this foundation in my last trying new makeup video. I think I like this mini, which is the matte. This one is matte, and this is like the original, more dewy version, but they're both gorgeous. Even though this is matte, I still kind of feel like I have more of a natural finish with this foundation, but they look like you've applied skincare to your face. When I use these, you don't have to apply much. You get full coverage with a more radiant finish, but it looks so skin-like and gorgeous. The only thing I wish is that I could find the shade that has a little bit more warmth, but it seems like even though these are the same 2 shades, this one seemed to be a little warmer on my skin in the matte than this original version. These are viral sensations and have been talked about all over TikTok and YouTube, and everyone loves this foundation. It is so affordable. I think the larger compact is like $25. This one's like $15. So they're very affordable, but give you a very high-end look. If you want to see these in action, check out my videos here on my channel where I'm reviewing this one, and I use this one again in a trying new makeup video, but they are gorgeous and worth the hype. I will probably repurchase this in a larger size when I finish using this one, or I'll just keep buying minis. I don't know, but I will buy it again. Yes, I will. These are very, very good and worth the hype. They're Korean beauty, and they're great. TIRTIR foundation. I have 3 concealers to talk about. One concealer is the Prisme Libre Skin Caring Concealer by Givenchy. I think I bought this in 2023. I have used it throughout this year. I love this concealer. It is everything it says. It's a skin caring concealer. It just sort of looks like skin when you apply it. It is a neutral shade. This is N312 is the shade I have it in. It is a brightening shade. As you can tell, it's a little bit bright. It's a brightening shade, and it looks so beautiful under the eye. and I reach for it all the time. It is a high-end concealer. It deserves its spot in my 2024 roundup of favorite concealers because I used it so much during the year until another one joined my collection. But this was definitely my go-to ever since I got it in 2023, and for the majority of the beginning of the year, I was wearing this concealer more than any other. Love this concealer by Givenchy. This concealer I added to my list, but I don't think I have talked to you all about it here on my channel. It hasn't made it into a favorite. I'm not sure why I have failed to tell you guys about this concealer. This is the L'Oreal True Match Radiant Serum Concealer. It contains 1.5 hyaluronic acid and caffeine, and this one is in the shade W7. This is a concealer that I leave here at my home. I live two places. I have a work home and I live there during the week when I'm working, and then this is my permanent address, my permanent home right here where I am today, and I leave this one here, and this is my go-to concealer on the weekends when I'm just running errands or going shopping and I'm not doing anything too special, even though it definitely is a contender with many of my high-end concealers. So it works well. It has a nice doe foot applicator. It is very medium to full coverage, I would say. The color's perfect, and it sort of smooths under my eye. It just looks great. No creasing, no problems whatsoever with this. I like the True Match foundation, and I think this was a more recent launch, or I had never seen it before when I picked it up, and I love this concealer. It is a drugstore concealer, but I definitely think that if you're into drugstore, this is definitely a good one to add to your collection of concealers. It is very good. Wonderful coverage, looks great under the eye. Love this. I know you can guess which concealer I'm wearing today. This is the NATASHA Denona High Glam Brightening and Hydrating Medium to Full Coverage Crease Proof Serum Concealer. Very long name. This one is in the shade NY11, and it is tan neutral. It is good for dark circles, natural finish, hydrating, long wearing, and offers medium coverage. It says up to 19-hour wear. It also says it depuffs and blurs and it brightens, and it contains active skincare ingredients. I don't know what magic is in this. I love this concealer. It is my go-to concealer now. I reach for it the most, and I do have to make myself reach for others so that I can save this for one, but I need to use the other concealers. Concealer and foundations, you don't want to hoard those. You want to go through them because they expire more quickly than anything else. I do have to make myself use other concealers, but this is the one that I want to reach for every day. I think part of it is the color of the concealer. I wanted to wear this today with this foundation since I know the foundation isn't the perfect undertone, and this concealer is yellow like my skin tone, so you will see the yellow in the center of my face, and that is being delivered by this beautiful concealer. It gives you like these perfect under eyes. Now I do have on a color corrector. I'm going to talk about that next, but this concealer gives me very gorgeous under eyes. It feels like I'm not wearing anything even though I am, and it just doesn't crease or accent my fine lines. It has really good coverage. It is smooth, and again, it has the skincare, and I'm loving everything that has skincare. The Givenchy is also a skin caring concealer, and as I age, I'm reaching for products that claim to have more of those ingredients and cares for your under eyes. I need all the help I can get. So I need skincare and makeup in one. And this is one of those types of products. I love this. And the package is gorgeous. I'm just loving NATASHA Denona's product launches. You will hear me mention her throughout this video. I'm just buying a lot of her products, and she is winning when it comes to me. A lot of her launches are just lining up well with me and my needs. So I'm loving NATASHA Denona right now. And this concealer has been magical for me. I've loved it ever since purchasing it in 2024. Love this. I have this on as well. This is the Faux Filter Corrector. This is in the shade Mango. It is by Huda Beauty. I actually love her concealer as well, but I've talked to you guys about that in the past, so it did not make this video. This is a beautiful color corrector, and it really does help any concealer to correct your dark circles. The concealers that I've talked about today do a good job with my dark circles, but they may peep through just a little bit sometimes. When I add a color corrector and then apply my concealer or mix the two together, I can count on eliminating the look of my dark circles just by adding a color corrector. This color corrector does not change how my concealer performs. I'm not seeing creasing or anything crazy happening under my eye as a result of adding this. It doesn't look cakey. I still think my under eyes look pretty good and very smooth, and I have this on. I have on the concealer, I have on a couple of powders, and my under eyes look really good. All of these products really work well together to give me good looking under eyes, and that's really important at the age of 51. Yes, it is. So this is amazing. I'm not sure when I purchased this. This is the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake. There's barely any left. But I feel like I might have purchased it in 2023, and I just wanted to try the whole cherry blossom thing. I think the purpose is for brightening, and I definitely would agree it will brighten. I have this on with another powder. I don't have to go on and on about Huda Beauty powder in general. It is going to lock in your foundation. Any Huda Beauty powder shade that you try is going to lock in your foundation. It's going to give you a gorgeous finish, and it's going to cause your foundation to wear all day. It's just amazing. It's very finely milled, but not too fine. I don't notice flashback or anything of that nature. It just gives me a gorgeous complexion. And when I use Huda, I can tell a difference that this is the powder that I'm wearing. So if I want my makeup to stay on all day and not budge, I'm going to want to include this in whatever, whether I mix it or wear it alone. I'm going to want to have this on. But the Cherry Blossom, I have enjoyed this shade. It definitely brightens, and I like using it under my eye. My favorite is the Banana Bread shade. That's my favorite shade. But I also like this one and would buy it again. So this is the Cherry Blossom Cake. It's almost on empty. Love this powder, as you can tell. The other powder that I have been using in 2024 is the Givenchy Prisme Libre, and this one is in the shade number 4. It has like a green, a purple, a orangey peachy color, and a darker peachy color. This one is more for a deeper complexion, medium complexion, and I always use the lightest shade because that one seems to be the most translucent, but I have found that this one is also translucent. I almost can't tell a difference on my skin between the two, but this gives you like a soft finish. It locks in my makeup and it makes my makeup last, but it just gives a very gorgeous, gentle, soft finish. So I think that this powder is for people who don't love powder. Like, you don't want it to look like you have on powder. This is the one to buy of any of the ones that I use as far as a loose powder. It is more gentle, but it definitely still holds your makeup and it keeps your makeup from budging, but it is a more beautiful, soft hold. I have been purchasing this ever since the first time I tried it. It is one of my go-to powders, but the shade number 4 is new to my collection. This powder is more high-end than the others that I have, and I will continue to purchase it. I love this powder. Love this powder. Another powder that I think I may have spoken about in a previous year-end favorite, so this isn't new, but it is something that I have used in 2024, and I feel like my makeup looks very different when I don't have this on. So I do have this on today as well. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Under Eye Setting Powder, and I probably butchered that name. It is a very long name, and this one is in the shade Medium. and it's a very small powder, has a little tiny mirror here as well, but it's a small powder and it has hit pan, but it is a powder that I like to wear under my eye, and I'm going to put a little bit on right now just so you guys can see how magical it is. So I did put it on earlier before setting, and look at how much it mattified. I did want you guys to see how great this powder is under the eye and how much it just sort of smooths. I'm going to put it here as well, and here just a little bit there. But it smooths your under eyes, and it helps to get rid of that divot, is what I always say, the little divots under my eye. It helps to get rid of that. I sprayed a little setting spray just to kind of take down that powder look, but it is amazing. So whenever I really want to make sure that my under eyes are snatched, I will add this extra step. If you don't have the Pat McGrath powder and you're getting older, or you're just starting to see your under eyes change, I would recommend adding something like this, because it is going to give your concealer a little extra help. Yes, it is. Let's talk about eyeshadow. This is Victoria Beckham, and this is a Lid Luster in the shade Mink. This is absolutely gorgeous packaging. First, let me just show you guys the package. Look at that package. Beautiful. It is a one and done type of shadow. It is like a cream shadow. It looks like this. It is, the Mink shade is sort of like a taupey color. I like to swipe it all over my lid and then blend out the edges. Sometimes I just wear this one shadow. Sometimes I will blend it out with like a matte brown of some sort. But this is a gorgeous one and done smoky eye type of vibe you get with this. It's beautiful. It is a cooler tone, but if you like those type of gray taupey colors and you want a smoky eye type of effect, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. But I also believe this comes in other shades, so you can check out the other shades. But I really do enjoy reaching for this when I want a one and done kind of vibe. And I have a short, I tried this with new makeup maybe in 2023, and I also filmed a short trying this on if you want to see this in action. This is a palette that I loved in 2024. This is a Tom Ford eyeshadow quad in the shade Cherry Smoke. If you like a red smoky eye, then this is definitely an easy palette to use. The shadows are just very creamy, buttery mattes. The shimmer is beautiful. This is sort of like a shimmer. I think they all may be mattes, but this sort of seems a little creamier, this particular one. And I like this particular palette, and I like palettes like this one because I can do a complete look. I have a transition shade, I have like contour crease shades here, and something to put on my lid. I wasn't sure how much I would use this palette because it was a red smoky eye, but I love wearing this even every day. I debated on whether to wear it today, actually. I love this palette. Have reached for it a ton in 2024. Love this palette by Tom Ford. Very pricey, very high end, but worth it for me. Love it. I did not buy this palette in 2024. It may have been 2023. It might have even been 2022. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions #2, and I don't know how much I talked about this palette. When I first used it, I wasn't sure about it, and so I didn't talk to you guys about it a lot, but like I wasn't sure about these two cream eyeshadows. Some of these have chunky glitters, and I wasn't very sure about it. But I have reached for this palette so much in 2024 that I felt like I needed to add it to the list, even though I didn't buy it in 2024. The mattes alone are just wonderful. The shimmers aren't my favorite shimmers of all time. Like I love NATASHA Denona, I love Pat McGrath, but the mattes are just where it's at for me. And this particular color palette really works well for my medium brown skin. And I find myself reaching for this palette all the time. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today, and I have on like just about every matte except this pink one in the middle. I have on like all of these in some way. I have this dark color on here. I have a little bit of this on, and then I topped it with this gold. And I even have on this lighter cream eyeshadow as like a base. So I reach for this all the time. It's a great everyday palette, and I love it. I love the color story, and I even have found use for these creams. There's like a little flap here that covers them. I think that they look really great underneath the shimmers, but can be worn alone. But I love the mattes, and I love how they blend. He makes others of these if you like other color stories. Definitely love this palette and have found myself reaching for it a lot. I wasn't so sure about it and put it aside. And then because I paid a good little penny for it, I was like, you got to use this palette. And I started reaching for it more, and I fell in love with it. You know, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you just have to put it aside and come back to it. Fell in love with it. Patrick Ta, Major Dimensions 2. This also should not come as a surprise. This is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. There were a couple of shadows in this palette. I think this center one that I saw swatched or something that made me go buy this palette, because nothing about this is my style. Like, I'm more of a warm palette type of person. I like warm eyeshadows. This definitely is more nude, in some ways cool. It's definitely a nude, cooler leaning palette. But I have created some gorgeous eyeshadow looks with this palette and reach for it all the time. It has been my go-to eyeshadow palette for the year. I have loved it. I talked about it in that 10 Obsessions video and was wearing it that day if you'd like to see it on. I love this palette. I get a lot of use out of it and definitely recommend it to you. You can make this work as a woman of color or a person of color, mainly because of this deep chocolate shade. You can add contour. You can contour the eyeshadow look because of that one shade and can make anything in here work. A lot of the shadows are lighter, so if you didn't have that dark color, it would be a struggle if you have deeper skin. But because of that, you can make everything work in this palette. So I love this palette, and I'm so happy that I bought it. It has been a winner in 2024. I felt like I needed to come back and tell you guys about this, even though I just got it in December, because when I tried it on with my new makeup, I wasn't so sure about it. This is the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. And because I love the I Need a Nude and I love warm, I had to get this. And I wasn't sure if it was something I needed when I tried it on with new makeup, because a lot of the shadows look similar. Even though they're different, from one day to the next, you won't always know that I did something different. But I have reached for this a ton since getting this palette, and this one I will go ahead and swatch for you guys. This is the kind of duochrome shadow, and I had this on one day, and a man, you know, men don't always notice eyeshadow looks. They don't notice things. But a man noticed this eyeshadow, and it is like a green and a orangey color. It's hard to show it here on camera, but it gives you like two different colors, and a man noticed it and thought it was beautiful and loved my eyeshadow that day. And I have enjoyed every look that I've created, even though they are somewhat similar. The mattes are gorgeous, easy to work with, and it is definitely a great everyday palette for people who love warm eyeshadow looks. So I take back anything that I said about it, like, did I need this? Yeah, I needed it. We don't need any of this makeup, but I wanted it, and I'm glad I got it. Let's do a little bit of bronzer. This is a long name too. Too Faced Melting, Bronzing, and Sculpting Stick. And this one is in the shade Chocolate Caramel. And I have this on today underneath my bronzer. And it is a warmer bronzing stick. It's not a cooler sculpting stick like you might use as contour, but this can contour, but it is more of a bronzing stick to me. On my complexion, it adds more warmth, and I have enjoyed it so much. It smells like chocolate, and it is very creamy going on, and I have really used this, and you guys know I'm not a cream product wearer. I continue to buy cream products because people talk about them and they love creams, and I want to see what it's all about, and I buy it, but I don't always find myself reaching for cream products. But I reach for this often. I reach for it. It gives me the most beautiful finish. I love the color. I love the experience because of the smell, and I love the creaminess. It is the creamiest contour bronzing stick that I own. I've been loving this in 2024. I think I have a video on this too, guys. I have a short demonstrating this product as well. The bronzer that I have reached for a lot in 2024 is the All Hours Hyper Bronze Bronzer. This is in the shade Sandalwood number 4, and it is by YSL. I love the packaging. It's like a faux leather with their emblem here, and this is what it looks like. I have already damaged the embossed powder. I have worn this so much. It is not too warm of a bronzer. It's sort of in between warm and neutral as far as the color, so it's a beautiful color. It works well on my skin. I actually have a review of this product on my channel as well. It is not too deep, it's not too warm, it's just this perfect sort of neutral bronzer, and it's not going to be overwhelming. It's not too much. It looks very natural on the skin, as you can tell. It looks like I have on bronzer, but it's not over the top. So that's why I love this, and I absolutely love wearing it like every day. It's a great everyday bronzer, and it doesn't look too makeup-y. It is a little pricey, but I am happy that I have it. I think it's beautiful. I love how it looks. I love the packaging, and it was worth the money for me. So it has been the bronzer that I have reached for the most in 2024 that is newer. I have a lot of bronzers that I have always worn, that I reach for all the time, that you guys know I love and that are tried and true, but this one is the newest one to my collection, and I have reached for it a lot, as you guys can tell by the look of this compact. I'm going to talk about this product next. It contains a bronzer and blush and other products. This is my Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palette in Snake. Okay, you see a snake here, and this is the 2023 palette that I bought during the holidays in 2023. So I couldn't talk about it in 2023, got to talk about it in 2024, and they no longer make it. It is limited edition. They do have some of the current palettes available if you are interested. So this one is the deepest shade. I think it was the number 3 of last year's palette, and I use this one far more than the other one that I purchased a few years ago because they didn't make the deeper ones at the time, and it was the deepest that they had, and it worked, but the bronzer was too light. Whereas this bronzer is perfect, and you can't see how deep this is. It is deeper than the All Hours bronzer that I just showed you guys, and I've used this palette more than I've used just about anything all year. These are starting to wear because I have used them so much. Everything in this palette is gorgeous. The 3 blushes, I just sort of sweep them together. The bronzer is a perfect deeper shade for me. The highlighter is beautiful, and this is like an ambient powder that adds a beautiful glow and radiance to your skin. I love this palette. It was $90 last year when I bought it. I don't know what it cost this year. I highly recommend that you pick up a palette like this year if you like these types of complexion products, because you can do everything you need with this one palette. And while it is pricey, if you are not like me and a makeup junkie and you don't have a lot of makeup and you buy this one thing, it can replace so many products in your makeup routine. And that's one of the reasons I reach for it all the time, because it's so fast, but it's also just beautiful. So this has been one of my favorite discoveries in 2023 that I have used in 2024. I have absolutely loved this palette by Hourglass. Love this. I have on 2 blushes today. This is the Haus Labs blush in Dragon Fruit Days. I believe that they come in a smaller size now. When I was in store, I saw them in a much smaller size, because definitely one of the things that I said is this is much larger than what I need for blush. It's very, very large, and I will never empty this compact. But it is a gorgeous, gorgeous blush shade, even though it looks intimidating in the pan. I have it everywhere actually, and I topped it with another blush, but a lot of what you see on my cheeks is this. Like, it is pink, but it looks beautiful on my deeper skin, and it doesn't look too pink, even though it looks very, very pink in the pan. Just want to make sure you guys can kind of see the difference. So it looks very, very pink in the pan, but it doesn't look too pink on my skin, and it's beautiful. And when I use it with this brush, this is a Serum beauty brush that costs over $250. It's ridiculous. But when I put it on with this brush and I kind of buff it in, it is absolutely stunning. It just adds such a beautiful blush color. I love this. I used this in a video, and I'll try to remember to link it. I was doing a Sephora recommendations, and can't remember, I did 2 videos that day, and I was wearing this blush and I fell in love with it from that moment forward because it looks so good. I always applied it for a very long time with this particular brush. It's a very expensive brush, but I applied it with this brush because I buffed it in and it almost looked like it flushed the skin. It doesn't look completely natural. You can tell I have on blush, but it gave you a very flushed appearance, and it is a very creamy kind of vibe on your cheeks. The makeup industry has come such a long way. They make really great makeup, and this blush is really great makeup. I couldn't decide which one to wear. I also am wearing the Valentino blush. This is an eye to cheek formula, and it is in the shade Roman Sky. I was influenced to buy this. The compact is beautiful. It comes with a travel brush, and it looks very, very light in the pan, but it is a light peach, and so I applied this to my cheeks, and I kind of applied it all over, but I applied it to my cheeks. So the peachiness that you see is from this blush. It is so creamy, buttery, natural looking. It has all sorts of, I think, skincare ingredients in it, and you're just gonna look like you have on a natural flush, like a natural cheek. It's beautiful. The shade is gorgeous, and can't stop reaching for it. Can't stop reaching for it. Haven't had it that long. Can't stop reaching for it. I love how it looks on me. I love that it's not too over the top. It adds a very natural, radiant finish. Love this. Beautiful. Love it. This should not be a surprise to you guys either. These are the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Luminous Powder Blushes. I have them in 3 shades. Because Rare Beauty can be a little bit more affordable, you can afford to buy multiples. Yes, you can. I have worn these a lot on my channel as well. I have talked about them in favorites. I have a video where I talked about top 5 concealers at the moment, and I was wearing this blush. I was wearing it in Happy. Happy is my favorite of the 3 shades that I have. This is Happy. I've lost a little bit of this one. My finger might have stuck in it at some point. This one is Joy. This one is Hope. Part of the reason why I think I have a dent in Joy is sometimes the packaging is a little hard to open if you have nails. I think my finger went into one of them when I was trying to open it one time, but this one is Happy, and I'm not going to apply it. It is definitely a luminous blush, and if you don't love that, you're not going to love these. They're going to add a shimmery appearance to your skin. But I enjoy them even though I have more aging skin, and sometimes a more luminous blush is going to kind of accent any texture you have on your skin. I still wear it. So these are beautiful. They add a beautiful flush to your cheeks. This is a very pink kind of color, and I just love these. Highlighter. This one is starting to look a little rough, but this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter, and this is the Glow Seeker highlighter. It says Sun Idol on the back, but when I bought this, I only saw it in 1 shade, and I will swatch these because it doesn't take long to swatch these, but it looks like this. It is very, very beautiful on my skin. It is a universal type of highlighting shade. In my opinion, it will work well for a lot of different skin tones. It's not too light, not too dark. It's not too gold. It's just perfect. And I was very, very pleased to see this launch because it reminds me a lot of the Armani highlighter, and the texture of it is very similar to that. I've been wishing that Armani would make a comeback, even though it was limited edition, or at least make something similar, which they did. So this is great by Anastasia Beverly Hills. The highlighter that I'm wearing today looks very similar to that one. This is Tom Ford. I bought it at the same time, and this one is in the shade number 2, Grand Paradise, I think is what it says. It is absolutely beautiful as well. Look at this, and I find myself reaching for this one more than the Anastasia one, and I think it's just because it's expensive and I want to get good use out of it. It is a little bit more white than the Anastasia, but very similar. If you have one, you don't need the other, and it has added this beautiful glow that you see here. And I try not to go overboard, but it is a beautiful highlight. Love this. Love it, love it, love it. Have been wearing it a lot in 2024. I also picked up the Fenty Afternoon Snack Mo Honey. Someone talked about this. I was influenced to buy it. I did not have the shade and thought it would work well with my brown skin, and I was correct. And I have worn this quite a bit. So let me swatch this for you. Very different than the other two. Kind of a bronze color, like a bronzy peach shade, but looks beautiful on brown skin. Love this, and I have reached for it a lot. Every Fenty Kilowatt highlighter that I have ever used is outstanding. One of the best highlighter formulas out there. If you're looking for highlighter, like where should I start? I would send you to Fenty Counter because there are so many color options and you are bound to find something that works for you. The other highlighter that I've used a lot is this Sephora Colorful Luminizer. This one is in the shade Glitzy Gold, and I love this, and I cannot believe that it is very affordable. So let me swatch it here. I swatched it on my hand there. Let me see if I can get a better swatch. It's like a luminizer, so it just is very smooth. And let's try this again. There we go. Let's do this again. This is a very smooth highlighter. It looks very similar to the Kilowatt highlighters as far as the shade, but it goes on extremely smooth, and it is Sephora collection. You're not paying for packaging, okay? Very clear, very plastic. You're not paying for that, but the product is amazing. So if you're on a budget and you want a gorgeous highlighter, look no further than this one by Sephora collection. It is beautiful. It's going to give you that wet cheek. It's gorgeous. Been reaching for this a lot as well in 2024. Okay, we're getting to the end, guys. This has been the year for lips. Let's start with what I'm wearing in case I want to switch it up here. I found this MAC, I believe limited edition, so it may not be available anymore. And this is Shanghai Spice, and it's kind of a peachy color. It's like a cream sheen, and most of what you see here on my lips is this. Most of what I have on is this Shanghai Spice. They stopped making this shade. I have 2 of this Shanghai Spice. This may be my 3rd one, and I've been wearing it. I think they changed the color a little bit because it looks a little bit more like the name now. It's a peachier color, and the one that I have previously looked a little more pink than this, but I still love it. So it's just a beautiful peachy lipstick, and they brought it back limited edition, so I was happy to find it again and purchase it. This other shade that I have had on today is also a MAC lipstick. This is in the shade Thanks It's MAC, and it is a nude color as well, and it's a little lighter, and so I've been combining that today. You can't quite tell, but it's a nude shade, and it's really pretty as well. I've been wearing this. I probably should swatch this one for you so you can see this color. And then let me swatch Shanghai Spice. So very different. I didn't swatch that well, but this is sort of a peachy orangey color, and that's a little bit pink. I think Thanks It's MAC is a very good, like, everyday, could look good on lots of different people type of shade. So it's beautiful. Both are gorgeous, and that's what I've been wearing in this lip combo, along with my Victoria Beckham lip liner in number 5. I absolutely love this. This is the first one I bought. This is my number 1 lip liner, and it's starting to shrink. I do have a backup of it, but it's beautiful. It is a great brown, and it's not too dark. It is the perfect brown, and it is my favorite right now. So that's what I've been wearing, along with my Dare to Bear by Pat McGrath. Y'all know I top just about everything with this shade. Dare to Bear tops every lip color almost that I wear. So that's what I've been wearing today. And I may just go with it because it'll take me forever to swatch every lip color that I want to talk to you guys about. So let's quickly run through my lips here. I'm going to put my glasses on to make this quick, guys, so that I can speed through these because I have a lot. This is Forget the Filler by Lawless. And this one is a cherry shade, Cherry Vanilla. I believe it was kind of hyped up all over social media. It was sent to me to review. My favorite part of this is the actual doe foot. I love it, though. I love how it looks. It's beautiful on, but the doe foot looks like a little booty, and it has been wonderful. And I have this size, and I have a mini. I wear it all the time. I have also absolutely loved these Tarte lip plumps. My favorite one is Mixed Berries. It's a pink shade. This is Mixed Berries. You pump it up like this, and that's the shade Mixed Berries. And I have it in a couple of other shades. I'll try to link them down below, but they are great everyday lippies. These have a little bit of a shine, and they slightly plump your lips. I have absolutely adored these all year. Been loving these. Following those, I also bought 2 from Hourglass that are very similar, and the shades of these are Crave and Haze, and they very same kind of product. You kind of twist them, and it is a shiny lip, and it's like an all-in-one. You have a lipstick and a shine all in one. Love these as well by Hourglass. Additional lip liners that I have enjoyed. This is the Anastasia lip liner in Malt. It's a deeper brown, and I also have it in, I think, Cool Brown might be the shade that I have it in. These have been good as well. I'm happy that I added these to my collection. Beautiful colors. I'll swatch a few things. So this is Malt by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is a deeper brown, and then this one is Cool Brown, and it is a little bit lighter brown. This one is closest to my Victoria Beckham number 5, which I will go ahead and swatch too since I mentioned it. They are very similar in color. Almost exactly the same. I prefer the Victoria Beckham because it just doesn't budge. It stays on longer than the Anastasia, but it is also more expensive. And you get more with the Anastasia. It's a larger lip pencil, but I'm very happy that I tried the Anastasia lip pencil. It has been absolutely wonderful. And I also have the Mented Bear lip pencil. I think Bear is the shade, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like this, and I have worn this a lot as well. It's sort of more of a reddish color, but I have enjoyed this lip pencil too, and it is by Mented. Hopefully they still make that, but I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This is Pink Beat by Merit Beauty, and I've had this a while. I constantly wear this, and I rarely mention it to you guys because it's like one of those things that I put on like a everyday lip oil, and I just kind of forget to tell you about it. But I wear it so much, I'm like, I gotta tell them about this. Gotta tell you about it. This is a pink lip oil, and I just like to reach for it every day as a one color kind of, I just slap it on as a lip oil and I like wearing it. It doesn't wear long. I do have to reapply, but I wear it a lot, and I felt like I needed to tell you. I've worn it so much that the writing is no longer on the container, and it's starting to empty, and I just forget to tell you guys about it, but I wear it a lot and have worn it a lot in 2024, so I wanted to tell you about it. This is the Giorgio Armani, I think it's Candy Halo, might be this shade, and I'll just tell y'all the numbers because it doesn't say it on the bottle. It is a pink gloss, and it is see-through. I have already repurchased this because I have emptied it. I kept it in my purse all the time and used it in my purse. I purchased another shade. This is the number 3, and it doesn't say the name of the shade, but I remember this one as Candy Halo number 2. It is pink. This is more of an orangey shade. I like the pink one better, but I like to wear it by itself. I also like to top other things, but I have worn this completely out in the year 2024. I believe I bought it at the end of 2023, but I've emptied it, already repurchased it, and then bought this shade as well. So have love that lip gloss. It's a very comfortable gloss. You will have to reapply. It is not very thick. It is a very sheer gloss, but it's very comfortable on my lips. So I enjoy that gloss a lot. I have a drugstore option that I don't talk about. Again, I buy lip products and I forget to tell you all about them sometimes. I think I told you about it once and never talked about it again, but I use it a lot. This is the Lifter Gloss, and it is by Maybelline, and this one is in the shade Silk. And I'm going to swatch this just so you guys can see the color, but it is this beautiful kind of opaque, kind of dusty rose type of color, and you can wear it by itself without a lipstick, without a lip liner. You can just apply it to your lips, and I have absolutely loved it. And since I'm just going ham with lip products, let's just add it here. Look at that beautiful color. Oh gosh, it's absolutely stunning, and it's from Maybelline. Love this shade Silk. It is my type of shade, and I have worn it all the time. One thing I hate about doing these videos is I always think that I'm gonna forget something. I think I have already forgotten something. These 2 lip peptide treatments, they're called Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. This is from Ole Henriksen. This one is in Strawberry Sorbet, and this is Creme Brulee. Oh, these are so good. And definitely wanted to talk about these 2 in today's video. I also picked up some lip products from Summer Fridays that are also good. Probably should be in this video as well, but I fell in love with these the most, so I want to mention it to you. I have a short trying on this product. These are absolutely wonderful lip treatments that you definitely need in the winter time. Such a great experience using these products. This one smells like strawberries. This one smells like creme brulee. So you have such a wonderful trying on experience, and my lips feel so smooth when I apply these. They are magnificent. So I have loved these lip treatments in 2024. I forgot to mention these when I was talking about eye products. A couple of eyeliners that I want to mention. One is from Laura Geller. It's like a fatter eyeliner. It's so much quicker than a little skinny one. And I know nobody talks about Laura Geller, but you can get pretty affordable makeup by buying Laura Geller. This is a Kajal long wear eyeliner, and it is a very fat eyeliner. I wasn't sure that I was gonna like this when I first got it because it's so fat, and it can be a little bit messy if you're not careful with it, but it moves so fast and it just covers your lash line so quickly that I definitely have fallen in love with this chunkier eyeliner from Laura Geller, and I have used it in 2024. And I also have been using this Bobbi Brown Perfectly Defined Gel Liner. I have this eyeliner on today on my lower lash line, my waterline, and have absolutely loved it. It doesn't budge. Like, even with the Laura Geller one, sometimes it might move a little bit by the end of the day once your oils start to kind of come through on your face. When you get home, your eyeliner might not be perfect. I noticed with this Bobbi Brown eyeliner that my eyeliner was still perfect. It didn't move even as my skin got oily and as the day went on. So for long wear, I'm gonna choose this one. For convenience, I'm gonna choose the one by Laura Geller, but these are both great eyeliners. Forgot to mention this product, guys. This product doesn't go in any particular category, but I wore this highlighter when I tried on new makeup. This is the NATASHA Denona Skincare Infused Glow Beautifier. It says Highlighting Bouncy Face Powder. And this one is in the shade number 2 medium. I'm gonna swatch it here for you guys. So it swatches like this. It can be worn as a highlighter, but my favorite way to wear it is sort of dusting it all over the way that I would my Lancome Absolute powder that I used to wear all the time, and the way that I would my Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder. That's my favorite way to wear this, and that is part of what's adding a lot of the radiance that you see on my skin today. That and probably the primer by NATASHA Denona, but I'm also wearing this, and I like dusting it on like with a brush like this, and you just sort of sweep it over your face underneath makeup. You can also apply it over, so I have it on both ways today. I have applied this under my foundation, and then I went back over it just because I really wanted beautiful radiant skin, and this is giving me life. Beautiful. Absolutely love this. Love the compact, and I'm happy I have it. I don't know that everyone's talking about it. I don't know if it's hyped up or not. I just know I'm loving it. The setting spray that I started using this year that was new to me is the Fix Plus Stay Over. And this is a long-lasting setting spray, but it is a dewy setting spray. I like to use it particularly here on my cheek areas is where I concentrate it, but I do mist it all over. My foundation lasts a long time, but it adds the most beautiful dewy glow. I love this. Today I also finished with the Professional Super Setter. It is also a very long-lasting setting spray. It has made it to the top of my list as my absolute favorite setting spray of all time. I love this. It kind of makes your skin look poreless, and it allows your foundation to last all day. That concludes my video for today. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Remember that I will be following with another video focused on skincare, hair, body care, as well as fragrance. So thank you for joining me for today's video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will respond. And if you've not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button before you leave. So I'll be seeing you guys again very soon in my next video. So until the next time we meet again, this is Savvy signing out.